Welcome to the Definitive Stranger Things special. We are jumping straight into the best of our content, behind-the-scenes secrets, bloopers, and burning questions for Season 5. Settle in, hit the like button, and let us know in the chat. Who is your favorite character? Let's dive in.
Are you ready to see what made Joseph Quinn cry, how Jamie Campbell Bower grew to love Vecna, and what scenes were hard for Millie Bobby Brown to film?
Hold on to your butts, brochacho.
Joseph Quinn. Just like all Stranger Things fans, the Eddie actor fell in love with his character, partly because of how he dealt with his inner conflict.
He is constantly battling with the fact that he wasn't able to save Chrissy, and then kind of proves himself to be a pretty heroic young man.
After the season's release, Joseph was overwhelmed with the fans' strong reaction to Eddie. Giving an interview at the London Comic-Con, the actor even broke down in tears after a fan told him how great of a person and actor he is.
Very kind of you. Thank you for your kind words.
You are always welcome, Joe. The Stranger Things characters have to deal with huge psychological challenges by themselves. Some are devoured by a powerful emotion such as guilt, like Eddie and Max, while others, like Will, are trying hard to find their true selves. And Eleven is struggling through a toxic relationship with the major father figure in her life, Papa. And now we're moving on to Eddie's on-screen bro, Gaten Matarazzo. The fourth season became a real challenge for the Dustin actor, performance-wise. I've never felt as committed to being truthful on screen as I have this year, Gaten said to Teen Vogue. But it wasn't too hard because the actor is very similar to his character. Just like Dustin, Gaten is very smart, and according to his own words, he's also a nerd. So it's no wonder that Gaten loves working on the set of Stranger Things, and he's always very careful not to give out any spoilers, but he actually leaked one by accident in 2016. Gaten talked about one of the test subjects who was banished to the Upside Down in the past.
It had an effect on them because they were in it for so long that they transformed into what was the monster. So the monster was a recent test subject.
In fact, he was discussing a fan theory, but it's crazy how spot on it was. That's exactly what happened to one, aka Vecna, played by Jamie Campbell Bower. The actor did a great job at portraying his character both as a soft-hearted lab orderly and as an unapologetic monster. In fact, even before Bower read the whole script, he somehow knew that Vecna was behind it all from the very beginning. There was never a fear of receiving the information and feeling like I had to live up to it. It was more like, awesome, I'm not wrong, Jamie shared. It took him at least 7 hours in the makeup chair to turn into Vecna, and Bower also had to do certain preparations to speak like the monster. That's right, that deep voice was real.
You just kind of settle back into it and breathe from the space below your belly and put it down there. You know, it's very easy.
Another thing Jamie did to understand Vecna better was buy 2 Black Widow spiders. Day by day, he'd just sit and look at them crawling around in a jar. What's more, the actor did a lot of thinking about his character's motivation. Bower eventually realized why Vecna did all those horrible things, and even grew to love the villain. I understand him, and so I'm always going to be on his side, Jamie told Variety. Well, as an actor, he kinda has to. Now, let's talk about his final victim, Sadie Sink. Playing Max in Season 4 was pretty special for the actress due to the storyline the Duffer Brothers came up with for her.
But I was really excited and grateful to Matt and Ross for kind of trusting me with this storyline.
Sadie said that it was great to see a new side of Max, where she makes brave choices and takes charge of her own fate. Another surprise for the actress was the Kate Bush song that she'd never heard before. After reading about it in the script, Sadie listened to the track, and she was shocked.
What is this? This is amazing. I love this. And it just kind of felt like Max. I don't know, it's kind of like Max's theme.
We all get what you mean, girl. It definitely is. And now let's talk about another strong female character, Natalia Dyer. Although Nancy found herself in quite a love triangle this season, the actress thinks that she has more serious problems to deal with. After all, they're about to face the collapse of life as they know it. For Natalia, this season's badass Nancy is reminiscent of one of the classic female heroes from the 80s. It's Sigourney Weaver in Alien. Even her co-stars felt it.
It's got some major Sigourney Weaver from Alien.
She really does.
You can definitely see the resemblance. Nancy is far from the sweet, innocent girl we saw in the first season.
It was very ambitious, but I just think her ideas of what that means and what that can be have shifted wildly.
But at the same time, Nancy's core remains the same, which is like this sort of intuition, gut, instinct to follow her own brain and her own path, the actress said. She's totally right. Let's move on to the guy who has also grown immensely throughout the show's run. Joe Keery. There was one change that the actor absolutely loved about Steve this season.
I'll tell you, it feels good to wear a different outfit.
Hilarious. But seriously, it's been cool to see the development of his character. For many fans, there'd be no show without him.
You are Stranger Things. We need you. We need Steve.
We definitely do. Yet we nearly didn't have Steve in Stranger Things. According to the original plan, he was supposed to die in season 1. But thanks to Joe's natural charisma, the Duffer Brothers decided to let his character live on. But to this day, people still worry about Harry Harrington's fate.
This is on the billboard. It says, "Protect Steve."
Yeah. So I actually paid for this. It was really expensive.
All the fans definitely breathed a sigh of relief that Steve survived the season 4 finale. Maya Hawke. The actress felt great about her character's storyline in season 4, especially the part where she has a crush on Vicky. There are like real feelings and a real story that gets built, and that feels like a really awesome step for Robin's journey, Maya said. The actress completely trusts the Duffers with whatever they're gonna do with her character next, but she has one hope for Robin in the next season. I hope she gets to kiss somebody she likes. That would be cool for her. For sure, all the fans would love to see Robin find her significant other. Did you know Maya and her character have something cute in common? They both talk super fast when they're nervous.
I don't know if you've noticed that I'm talking like Phoebe Buffay on Adderall or something. Like I do this really fast talking thing.
The Duffer Brothers noticed that habit of Maya's and decided to add it in the show. And it fit right in. Now it's time to talk about one more member of Team Hawkins. Visit our awesome merch shop. We have branded t-shirts, hoodies, eco bags, and even phone cases. You can choose between dozens of unique and awesome designs. Click the link under the video and find your perfect match. Caleb McLaughlin. The actor discussed one of the most menacing scenes with Lucas, where Vecna disguises himself as Lucas in Max's vision. Interestingly, Caleb didn't rehearse this sequence at all, and Sadie also didn't know how he was going to play it. The actor just went for it, and with every new take, he got better at being scary. But there was one scene that Caleb had to rehearse, the fight with Jason. Although it was pretty funny to do, it made the actor realize one thing. I give it up to any stunt person that does fighting scenes. Stunts are tiring, he said. And then he gave us his best performance in Max's death scene. To play it well, Caleb tried to understand how Lucas felt in that moment. Helpless. So much so that he even cried for his little sister to help him. Something that Lucas would never do otherwise. In fact, Caleb was the one who came up with this line, and it worked perfectly. And speaking of Lucas's sister, Priya Ferguson. Did you know that one detail in season 4 actually happened to the Erica actress in real life? Priya played Dungeons & Dragons with Gaiden, Joe, and Finn, and she also rolled the 20 and won the game. How cool is that? Here's one more thing that makes Priya similar to Erica. She feels like Caleb is her big brother in real life too, because they've always had sibling chemistry on set. Pretty sweet, huh? Now on to Team California. Charlie Heaton. For a lot of fans, it felt as if Jonathan was pretty much absent in season 4. He seemed to be there mainly for stoned comic relief. Responding to those claims, Charlie said that he didn't think so, and his reduced screen time was simply because of how many other characters there are. It's impossible for each one of them to be front and center all the time, and meanwhile, Jonathan had been quietly going through his inner conflict this season. We find him in a place of questioning himself and his relationship, Charlie commented. We're yet to see how this conflict resolves, and whether the 5th season will feature Jonathan's new friend, Eduardo Franco. Okay, first of all, you won't believe it, but Argyle's hair isn't a wig. That long, luxurious mane is actually real. And here's what Eduardo says about Argyle's role in the show.
You know, he's also like Jonathan's personal, unofficial, not certified therapist.
Well, he certainly is. And without Argyle, the 4th season would be much darker. Even on the set, Eduardo constantly made his co-stars laugh. When the season premiered, the actor was so proud of being part of this amazing cast that he even cried while watching the show. And here's one of the guys he got to work with a lot. Noah Schnapp. There were many hints about Will's sexuality throughout the show, and only now has Noah confirmed what we've suspected all along. It's 100% clear that he is gay and he does love Mike, he told Variety. Can't say that it's surprising, but at least it's good to know for sure. Noah also shared that he loves Will's arc and the fact that viewers were coming to the realization about his sexuality so slowly. He did his best to show his character's inner struggle. Will's afraid to come out to the gang because he doesn't know if they will accept him, especially the one friend who he wishes was more than a friend to him. Finn Wolfhard. We're yet to see how Mike reacts to Will's coming out, but Finn says that this part of the storyline is beautiful. In Season 4, the actor had a complicated scene with Mike's love-professing speech. Finn was pretty scared about filming it because his monologue was quite long and it had to be done in a single take. After a few tries, he did it perfectly, and even improvised one line.
And so that, you're my superhero line, I just added.
This part gave so much more gravitas to the whole thing. So we must say that this young man is a genius. And finally, we're getting to Millie Bobby Brown. It was the best season yet for the actress because her character got to fight non-supernatural things.
Yeah, I mean, 11 this season deals with some of the realest monsters out there, like bullying and self-identity.
In fact, it was hard for Millie to film the scenes where Elle was teased at school. It reminded her of similar experiences she's had in the past. And it took her quite a while to persuade herself that this time, it was not real. It was just acting. Thankfully, Millie coped with it and gave an amazing performance. And overall, she enjoyed exploring more humane struggles of her character. After all, 11 isn't only a superhero. She's also a teenage girl who wants to be loved and valued for who she is. Support OSSA by sending us super thanks. Just click on the thanks button under the video and choose an amount to donate. Stay awesome, and remember, we value each one of you. Would you like to learn what the adult actors think about their characters in Stranger Things? Let us know in the comments below.
We all love Stranger Things for its mystery, horror, and that irresistible 80s vibe.
The show looks pretty good. I should check it out.
But off-screen, it's a whole different dimension.
I'm having way too much fun.
So let's dive into the funniest bloopers, awkward falls, and random chaos that made Stranger Things even stranger. Behind the eerie monsters and mind-bending twists, there's a lot of laughter. And the cast wouldn't have it any other way.
We should be the one that starts the blooper reel. Because we did the sleigh.
Okay, deal. Let's start with this chaotic foursome, the true comedy stars of Season 4. Their laughter was so contagious, it literally broke takes.
Just go away. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that.
Take Charlie Heaton, for example. The poor guy couldn't handle the scene whenever Eduardo Franco opened his mouth.
I know of a magical place to hazard.
And just when you think he nailed it, nope.
I know of a magical...
Oh my God.
What the f***? I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Charlie. You're not the only one who can't keep a straight face. Even Hopper loses it sometimes.
Your mom called. She needs you home right away.
Is everything okay?
No, I don't think so. It's your grandma.
What?
No one knows what cracked David Harbour up so bad, but the scene turned into a full-on giggle fest.
It's your grandma.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Apparently, the actor just finds grandmas hilarious.
It's your grandma.
The word is so funny. I can't do this.
I like that one too.
And let's not forget Gaten Matarazzo, king of the uncontrollable giggle.
Cool night swim?
Take a little swim. Don't do this to me.
Maybe it's the way he says it?
Take a little swim. You need to leave.
Recast me.
Oh no, Gaten, never. Sometimes the laughter bug just bites everyone on set.
Sorry.
Oh, you don't understand what he's capable of. Me.
Even Vecna can't resist.
No!
Yes.
No!
And sometimes it's not even the actor's fault. Random weird noises just happen.
Crouch!
Oh my God.
Remember Caleb McLaughlin?
Hi.
Yeah, the guy sometimes made interesting sounds on set.
Caleb, do you remember that your stomach was upset this day?
Yes. What's new?
Shut up!
Turns out, our boy wasn't just acting tense, he was literally fighting his own stomach demons.
I feel like season 1, it was just
You always had
like,
tummy
it was
issues.
always going crazy.
He
Like,
is
we were
nervous.
we were just all nervous.
Yeah, I don't think this is the commentary I've been looking for.
Oh, Gaten, that's exactly the commentary we're looking for. And speaking of the Dustin actor, he and Caleb had their own unique warm-up routine.
Me and Gaten used to smack each other before takes. I don't remember.
They had to tell us to stop because our faces were getting red.
Yep, both of our faces were getting red.
Boys will be boys, even in the upside down. But what about the girls? You'd think they're more serious and focused, right?
My name's Ketchup and my name is Mustard. Together we're Ketchup and Mustard.
As you can see, not exactly. Turns out Millie Bobby Brown really loves to prank her co-stars. But don't worry, karma didn't skip her. Playing 11 wasn't exactly a walk in the park, and the actress had her own method acting tricks to survive the intense scenes.
I remember I just had to be very emotional all the time. The song Hello by Adele had first come out, and that song made me cry, so I played it every 2 seconds. What? Adele always makes me cry.
We feel you, Millie. Adele's basically the ultimate tear trigger. By the way, the star also took home some very memorable keepsakes from set.
My wig that I wore in season 4, like the bald wig, and I got to keep my blonde wig, and I got to keep my pink dress from season 1 with my, like, you know, striped socks and Converse.
However, one particular souvenir had everyone a little confused.
There's a picture of Mike next to 11's bed, and now I just have this very strange, intimate picture of you in a love frame.
Beside Jake's bed.
Yeah, exactly.
He wakes up.
My one true love.
Well, that's one way to test a relationship. And while we're on the topic of props, oh boy, they caused more chaos than Vecna ever did.
That's totally against the rules.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Things just kept escaping the frame. Communication devices refused to cooperate.
Hey guys.
And eventually, every prop joined the rebellion.
Say it again. All right.
Yep.
Crap. I'm sorry. I forgot to do that.
Right.
Even a door couldn't behave.
Excuse me, miss?
No.
Reset.
And it seems the Stranger Things cast are true professionals at forgetting their lines.
It's like, let's do it.
Paused at 53 seconds 5.
53 minutes and 5 seconds.
There's something around that. You know, pauses fast times at 53 minutes 5 seconds. Someone who likes boobies.
Maybe it's time for some memory vitamins, guys, because things only get stranger from here.
Maybe some things just can't go back to the way they were. That doesn't make sense. Maybe some things just can't. Maybe some things just can't go back. What the fuck's going on?
12 Ricks have already opened accounts here. That's a lot of Ricks. Yeah.
But forgetting lines isn't their only struggle. Their tongues are the real villains on set.
All right then, I'll use my torch to set fire to the chamber. I got this one. All right then, I'll use my torch. All right then, I'll use my torch to. You're right.
Sorry.
I know it's hard.
Well, sometimes words just refuse to cooperate, especially in the morning.
I was out looking for Dart and I found out
And then there's the accent struggle.
Season 1, I was still trying to figure out the American accent, but the sound I couldn't make was that, like, American sound.
Turns out the Brit couldn't quite say Nancy.
But that night, I remember, I guess I was doing some hybrid, like, Nancy, and I was like, okay, let's go again. And at one point, I think by the end of the night, I had the whole crew just screaming, Nancy!
But when lines fail, the cast knows exactly how to reset with a little dance break. These guys don't even need music. It's actually shocking how smooth they are, considering how often they fall.
I'm living life. Let's do it again.
Sometimes all it takes is one sneaky branch for a perfect blooper.
Black Sabbath, bit of bat's head off on stage. No? Guess we woke up Vecna.
So yeah, the Stranger Things set is pure, glorious chaos. You never know what's going to happen next.
Wait, you guys didn't shave my head, did you?
But honestly, we love them for this madness.
Boobies.
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 Boobies, boobies, boobies.
Yeah, it's hard to believe we're heading into the last season of our favorite show. And after all these years, the cast has become incredibly close.
They're like awesome, and they're like, obviously family. I've grown up with them 10 years.
They've truly become friends for life.
We'd have like really good, deep conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some like really like brutal, like conversations I wouldn't even want to talk about.
Oh my God,
he's like he's like my brother. Like
really brutal stuff, man.
brutal.
No wonder saying goodbye was so hard.
I would just like walk around my house like crying like an insane person. Like it was so weird, and it was like I think it was my brain's way of subconsciously like grieving this like end of the show that it was so important to me.
Luckily, we'll always have something to rewatch and laugh at for years to come. Will you miss this, gang? Tell us in the comments. And as always, stay awesome.
The Duffer Brothers kept their promise. Season 4 of Stranger Things is really scary. But in order to make it as terrifying as possible, the cast and crew had to work a lot behind the scenes. Let's explore how it was filmed, find out if Millie Bobby Brown really had to shave her head again, learn which character needed more CGI, Vecna or Young Eleven, and delve into why becoming Vecna was painful for Jamie Campbell Bower.
It's not very cool to see a monster cry.
Let's get into it. The meaning behind the hairstyles. Many fans wondered if Millie Bobby Brown shaved her head again for Season 4.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Because that buzz cut looked insanely realistic, right? But this time, it was a wig. The process of setting it took about 30 minutes from start to finish. The hair and makeup team wrapped Millie's real hair tight around her head. Then they wet it and used an elastic material to really flatten it. After letting it dry for 15 minutes, they put the wig on. Another character who stayed true to his original hairstyle is Will. Noah Schnapp revealed that he asked the Duffer Brothers many times to change his bowl cut. However, the show's creators insisted on keeping it, so the actor had to put up with it. I think it is a true kind of 80s classic haircut, shared Noah, so I don't think we're gonna lose it anytime soon. Also, it's probably meant to show that Will is still very tied to childhood and wants things to remain the same. On the other hand, his friend Lucas's new flat top haircut signifies his transition into a popular jock. This style was inspired by the hip-hop duo Kid 'n Play, and Mike is trying to grow his hair out like his new role model, Eddie. Speaking of Eddie, originally the Duffers wanted his hair to be similar to David Bowie's mane in Labyrinth, the iconic movie from the 80s. But the actor Joe Quinn wanted to sport something more normal, like a mullet. They finally compromised after 2 whole weeks of wig fittings. The hair team based the final look on Ozzy Osbourne and other metal gods from the 80s. Quinn revealed that his hairstyle, although still being objectively ridiculous, serves the character really well. It's very useful as an actor to put something on and instantly you feel like you're looking at a different person. Now let's see what else Joe and his castmates had to go through to really immerse themselves into their characters. Becoming a metalhead. His spectacular 80s heavy metal perm and denim battle jacket made Eddie look like the real deal. Joe Quinn confirmed he listened to a lot of heavy metal while preparing for the role. The actor has played guitar since he was 7, and it really helped him get into the mindset of an over-the-top metal weirdo. Joe got the script for Stranger Things at some point in the pandemic, so he started practicing pretty furiously. It's impossible to not sound pretentious when you say it, he confessed. But yeah, that was my way in. His co-star Brett Gelman also chose to acquire the same skills as his character, our favorite conspiracy theorist. Murray spends the first part of Season 4 talking about his karate abilities. Thankfully, it turns out that he can actually fight. Gelman took it very seriously and wanted to look as authentic as possible, so he spent 3 months training with karate instructors. The actor called the experience of training healing, since he wasn't particularly athletic as a child. Feeling that I can pick karate and Russian up so quickly at 45 feels like, oh wow, I am in my prime, explained Gelman. Kayla McLaughlin also had to learn something new.
Lucas finally gets a chance to get on the court.
But playing basketball in the 80s was a bit different than playing it today. There were no fancy handles behind the back, no-look passes, revealed Caleb. It was definitely a totally different style to play. By the way, his jersey number 8 carries special significance. It's an homage to the late Kobe Bryant. Newcomer Eduardo Franco didn't have to learn anything new. However, he still had his fair share of challenges. Because of Argyle's specific interests, Eduardo had to wear bloodshot contacts throughout the season. Those paired with his Quicksilver outfits really helped him create a great character. Next, let's talk about fashion. Traveling far to get things right. In case you didn't know, scrunchies were an 80s fashion staple. All of them were custom-made specifically for the show. And the Stranger Things costume designers made sure they would match any given character's outfit flawlessly. For example, Max's hair accessory was dyed a darker color this season. It was supposed to show she's been wearing the same one for over a year, so it looks a little dirtier and sadder. We've already mentioned Quicksilver, who helped create those California-inspired looks, but Converse was also part of the costume making. They designed exclusive shoes in 3 different colors to match the palette of Hawkins High. In contrast, Argyle's shoes were custom-made by Vans. But the hardest costumes to make were those of the Russian military. The show's team hired a military advisor to make sure the uniforms were historically accurate. They even went to Poland to pick the pieces of those monochromatic blues and greens. Incredibly, that wasn't the only overseas location the Stranger Things cast and crew traveled to this season. To bring Russia to the screen, they went to Lithuania. The majority of the Russian storyline was shot at an old Tsarist prison. It served perfectly in creating a very dark Kamchatkan vibe. Another place with a pretty dark backstory was the sanitarium where Victor Creel was housed. Turns out Penhurst Mental Hospital does exist in real life. Once seen as a model institution, it was closed in the 80s after years of controversies. However, in the series, the scenes set at the hospital were filmed at Berry College in Georgia, and the real-life Creel house is only a few miles from it. It was built in the second part of the 19th century and was previously a bed and breakfast. The homeowners moved from Minnesota with the intention of renovating it. About a month after they closed on the house and began renovations, the locations team for Stranger Things knocked on their door. A surprisingly tough scene. Many Stranger Things fans agree that Dear Billy is the best episode of the new bunch, and viewers were definitely surprised to see Dacre Montgomery again. He came back for a scene where the monstrous Vecna taunts Max as Billy. In this emotionally intense sequence, the grieving Max quite literally comes face to face with her trauma. But Montgomery and Sadie Sink didn't film it together. In fact, they shot the scene on 2 different continents, nearly a year apart. Director Sean Levy called this task the biggest Rubik's Cube challenge of his directing career. The pandemic scuttled all of the production plans when the shooting had already begun. Dacre was in his hometown in Australia and couldn't come to the set. Ultimately, Levy decided to direct Montgomery remotely over Zoom. This was a year after Sink shot her portion of the scene. So Montgomery's performance was digitally merged with hers using a bit of movie magic. And there was another character whose appearance on the show definitely required some special effects. A villain unlike any before it. Just as promised, Season 4 is the scariest Stranger Things season so far. However, unlike Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer, Vecna was created without the use of heavy CGI.
It's about 10% CGI, 90% practical effects.
The team decided to stick to old-school prosthetics. Moreover, rather than just creating a rubber monster suit for the actor to slip into, the visual effects artists glued each piece of the prosthetic to Bauer's skin. From start to finish, it took roughly 7.5 hours. The character had to be camera-ready early in the morning, so the application process usually began around 3 a.m. After about 10 to 12 hours of filming, Jamie Campbell Bower headed back to the chair to get it all removed, which would take another hour. For the finishing touch, Vecna was covered with a layer of lube to create a glossy, wet look. The only thing that wasn't practical was the moving vines on the neck. This supervillain is terrifying not only because of how he looks, but because of his dark aura. Bauer shared the method he used to fully get into character. He wouldn't speak to people outside of the production for at least 4 days prior to shooting his scenes. And right before filming, he would also sit alone in a totally pitch-black room to get into Vecna's evil headspace. Incredibly, about halfway through filming, Bauer himself started to become quite afraid of the monster. Rumor has it that he even made Millie Bobby Brown cry.
That could be true.
And finally, we're gonna reveal the secret behind the portrayal of the younger Eleven in Season 4. The Doppelganger. Some fans were unhappy with the poor quality of special effects used to create a version of Elle from the flashbacks. One even tweeted that younger Eleven is scarier than the actual monsters. Others assumed that the show's creators used the same digital de-aging technique that made Robert De Niro look younger in The Irishman. And some even suggested that Millie Bobby Brown filmed the scenes years ago. But they were all wrong. Flashback 11 is neither CGI nor Millie. She's just the result of really good casting, acting, and directing. The Stranger Things writers revealed that young Eleven is played by a wonderfully talented actor, Marty Blair. With Brown's help, she transformed into her mini-me. Millie directed her every step of the way. Marty confirmed that Brown supported her between takes and helped her go through the intense shooting process. Of course, Blair had to go through a similar experience as Millie did in the first season of the show, including shaving off all her hair. Blair shared that it changed the way she viewed the world, herself, and how others viewed her. Still, she is grateful for this experience that let her follow her dream. Thankfully, the young actress didn't have to go through it alone. She was accompanied by her fellow lab rats, and they had a great time, both on and off screen. Don't forget to check out our other videos about Stranger Things and its cast.
Stranger Things fans follow the lives of the characters and the cast very closely. And the biggest question that haunts fans is, are they as close IRL as on screen? Let's learn everything about the best bromance of all time and how it's rooted in real life. Discover what brought Caleb, Sadie, and Gaten together before they were cast on Stranger Things. And find out what infamous pact Millie and Noah made.
Holy shit.
Let's start. The unlikely duo. Although action is a big part of the show, the relationships between the characters are the reason why we root for them. And it saved a character's life at least once. Bully turned babysitter Steve Harrington rose to prominence in Season 2, mostly thanks to his unlikely friendship with unapologetic nerd Dustin Henderson. Their bromance came out of the blue, but oddly enough, it came about naturally. Gaten Matarazzo revealed that it felt weird at first, as the idea of getting Steve and Dustin together came from being at a dead end plot-wise. Then, suddenly, the characters connected. I thought our scenes were going to be pretty funny, recalled Joe Keery, but they had heart to them too. The Stranger Things creators were also surprised by the success of the oddball duo. It was never planned when we pitched the season to Netflix, revealed Matt Duffer. It's just something you discover along the way. Dustin and Steve's adventures together made us fall in love with them. Moreover, every moment of their bromance is a little rooted in reality. Joe and Gaten have become great friends, and they aren't shy to admit it.
Working with Joe is always incredible, and he's a dear, dear friend.
I think he's like just maybe one of the brightest young people I've ever met.
Just recently, Joe revealed why their bickering feels so natural, comparing Gaten to a 60-year-old uncle that he never had. Which is doubly amusing, as Keery is a decade older than his bestie. In Season 4, the relationship between their characters took on a different dynamic because of the cast's newest addition, Joseph Quinn. Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master Eddie became Dustin's latest role model. However, Gaten is not going to pick sides, either on or off screen. He was happy to welcome a new member of the team, whom he described as a very devoted, committed, and careful actor. Keery, Matarazzo, and Quinn bonded really well, not only during filming, but also during the hiatus caused by the pandemic. They spent quite a lot of quality time together doing rock climbing. By the way, just like Gaten, Joe Keery is also not ready to reveal which duo is better, Steve and Dustin or Steve and Robin.
Oh man, that's a dead tie. I feel like that. It's like choosing who do you love better, mom or dad. I can't do that.
Now, let's have a look at the relationships Dustin's first romantic interest has with her co-stars. The Broadway Kids. Sadie Sink has often been linked to her fellow cast members, especially Caleb McLaughlin, as he plays her boyfriend, and they have brilliant on-screen chemistry. However, their relationship is nothing but close friends.
And I appreciate her as a friend.
But that doesn't mean they don't have kind of a history together. Sadie revealed that she knew Caleb and Gaten for a long time before they were all cast on Stranger Things. They first met on Broadway. Sadie played in the musical Annie, McLaughlin was in The Lion King, and Matarazzo starred in Les Miserables. If you're a child and you're on Broadway, you automatically know every other child in a production, explained Sadie. She recalled that as kids, they spent lots of time in a park where they would all go to let off energy between rehearsals. So when Sink saw Caleb again on the set of Stranger Things, she was impressed.
Wow, he's so grown up.
Thus, a friendship between the co-stars came quite naturally. Sadie recalled that she and Gaten would constantly sing Hamilton tunes, and that she'd had a water balloon fight with Caleb. And the first night she met Millie, they went to an Adele concert together.
Having someone that's kind of going through the same thing that you're going through, it's a great support system.
But although there was nothing romantic between Sadie and Caleb, doesn't mean there were no behind-the-scenes love stories at all. The real romance. Charlie Heaton and Natalia Dyer were first spotted off set together back in 2017. They were photographed holding hands in Paris and kissing in London, and later the couple went red carpet official at a Christmas event. Despite that, the two didn't share too much about their relationship, although they were repeatedly asked about it. First off, they wanted to be sure about what was truly going on between them, and secondly, they didn't want it to interfere with their work on the show. However, even if Dyer and Heaton weren't sure about it, Matt Duffer claims that it was obvious to him. That first audition, we did a chemistry read with Charlie and Natalia, he shared, and sparks were flying. The couple are still going strong. Yet, Natalia is confused about why people want to know about their private lives. For her, being open as an actor and as a person are quite different things. Some people are very good about sharing, and others feel a little more comfortable holding some things for themselves. Next, let's find out how the supporting cast feels on set. Bullies are welcome. We bet that most viewers felt uneasy watching how mean Californian Queen Bee Angela has been to Elle. It turns out that for Elodie Grace Orkin, it wasn't a very pleasant experience either. The newcomer revealed that it was Stranger Things that inspired her to start a career on screen. So booking a role on her favorite show was just insane. But playing a bully wasn't easy, because in real life, Elodie doesn't like confrontation at all.
It was just a lot of fun to kind of be someone completely different.
Obviously, it was a little bit intimidating on set, as the main cast is like family. But Elodie was immediately welcomed. Honestly, they made it so comfortable for everyone new walking in, she recalled. It was just a really fun set. Another actor who joined the cast in season 3 and returned in the latest one wasn't intimidated at all. Thanks to her Broadway background, Gabriella Pizzolo knew some of her classmates before landing a role on Stranger Things.
And I'd seen Gaten in his first Broadway show ever, and that was one of my first shows that I ever saw.
Moreover, she knew Sadie really well because Sink's brother Mitchell was in the same show that Gabriella was in. So they were like family friends. All in all, knowing her co-stars made the entire Stranger Things experience more comfortable. For example, when she and Gaten were working on the Never-Ending Story song together, Matarazzo was super attentive to his on-screen partner. He came to Gabriella's trailer before it and was like, "Are you sure this is okay? Do you want to try this?" No wonder she was so excited to learn that Susie was going to be a part of yet another season. Although not every Stranger Things cast member knew each other before filming, some of them swore to stay friends forever. Besties till death do them part. Quite understandably, Millie Bobby Brown and Sadie Sink are besties in real life. They were the only girls among the cast and clicked immediately. The castmates even went on vacation together. However, Millie's closest friend is Noah Schnapp. During shooting of the first season of Stranger Things, they bonded over filming their own little show.
Welcome to Schnipper and Milster's Video Diaries.
The duo also became the biggest pranksters on set. Their very first prank was on the showrunners. Millie pretended that she was really sick. She put water in her mouth and started puking it up. The Duffers didn't expect that and took the situation very seriously, to the excitement of the kids. Brown was also the mastermind behind the epic prank of the 4th season. This time, it was played on Noah. She lured him to a spot where he was ambushed by the entire team and crew.
About 20 people raid him, absolutely invade him, and
whipping.
it's bad.
No other cast member could have pulled that off, especially because Schnapp and Brown are the bestest of BFFs. Millie admitted that Noah is one of the longest friends she's ever had. The actress explained that she didn't have any childhood friends because she was mostly homeschooled. That's why Noah is really one of those rare and dear people for her.
We both encourage each other and like cheer each other on when they're doing well, and it's nice to have that like support.
The two have even made the legendary best friend marriage pact. Oh yes! The two agree that if they are both not married by 40, they'll get married to each other because they would be good roomies. Millie specified, though, that it would be a complete platonic marriage. And the agreement does come with a non-negotiable clause: no kids.
Yeah, no kids at all. Only dogs and separate bedrooms for sure.
But let's get back to season 4 and see how our favorite actors spend their time between takes. A time to remember. Things were a lot easier for the Stranger Things cast when they were shooting the first season of the show. They spent their time off set playing old school games like cards and Monopoly. Just like real 80s children. Being unknown to the public at the time, the castmates even dressed up on Halloween and went trick-or-treating together. Thankfully, not many things have changed since then, although they are all now busy with their own lives. Apart from acting, Noah is also an entrepreneur. Millie is a producer and a founder of her own skincare and beauty brand, while Finn is a screenwriter and a short film director. But they all still think about each other.
When we're in between seasons, it's, we don't have to talk all the time, and like we can go a long time without seeing each other, but we know that we're either going to be doing press or going back for a new season.
However, after season 5, they will probably have to make more of an effort to stay in each other's lives. But they are definitely ready to do it, because, as Caleb says,
I'll never not want to be around them, even though if I end up not liking them, I'll still love them.
The child actors of Stranger Things have come a long way since first appearing on the show. And now, as it's nearing its end, let's see how they all have transformed. What unexpected skills does Millie Bobby Brown have?
I just couldn't really even believe that.
How did his coming out change Noah Schnapp's on-set experience? And who wants to kill more characters on Stranger Things?
I don't think so, honestly.
Let's find out. Millie Bobby Brown. Isn't it funny how she became a wife and a mother before we could watch the series finale? She started out in Stranger Things as a 12-year-old girl, and now Millie is 21, and you definitely can't say that she rested on her laurels during all these years. She became the youngest UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, launched her own cosmetic brand, Florence by Mills, and opened an animal rescue organization called Joey's Friends. Besides, she lives on a farm in rural Georgia.
I have 25 farm animals.
She and her husband, Jake Bongiovi, care for sheep, goats, cows, donkeys, horses, cats, and dogs. And you should know that Millie doesn't only play with them or take their photos for social media. She's their full-on caretaker. I'm able to treat wounds, take their pulse, moderate blood pressure, things like that. I do all their medical records myself, the actress commented. Quite a handful, right? But when it comes to her career, Millie is also unstoppable. 5 years ago, she founded her production company, PCMA Productions. And since then, she starred in and produced both installations of Enola Holmes, as well as Damsel and The Electric State. Currently, Enola Holmes 3 is in post-production, and fans are eagerly awaiting its release. With so much going on, the actress is ready to close the chapter of Stranger Things. And that's mostly because the series was taking so much time to film every season. It's preventing me from creating stories that I'm passionate about, Millie shared. Of course, she remains thankful to Stranger Things for everything the show has done for her. Yet now, when she's done playing 11, the actress can finally focus on her own projects as well as her family. Millie never hid the fact that she wanted to have many kids.
I also find it's so important to start a family. For me personally, like it's a huge thing. We are always going to be, wanting to start a family, and it just it doesn't matter in what way or when, but it will happen.
And in August, Millie and Jake became parents by adopting a baby girl. We are beyond excited to embark on this beautiful next chapter of parenthood in both peace and privacy, they wrote in the statement. So far, they have lived up to their words and kept things as private as possible. We don't even know the name of their daughter. The only thing Millie shared was a series of random photos, captioned with a baby bottle emoji. Some of the shots showed both Millie and Jake with a baby carrier and diaper bags. It appears that the new parents are happily embracing their new roles. They have already been spotted a few times with a baby stroller in New York City and the Hamptons. However, the announcement divided the actress's fans into two camps. Most are happy for her, commenting things like, "Cutest parents ever," and "Jake on dad duty. We love to see it." But others are certain that Millie and Jake are too young for such a big step. Share in the comments below which side you are on. Yet we should say that despite her young age, Millie is very mature, and by her numerous achievements, she's proven that she's ready for everything. Besides, both her and Jake's parents also married and had kids at a very young age.
My mom actually had her first child at 21 and my dad was 19.
So they have great examples to follow. Now, how about Millie's Stranger Things co-star and on-screen boyfriend, Finn Wolfhard? The actor recently shared he was happy with his character's ending in the show. "I was satisfied, but I was also very confused and sad, but also very happy," he said to People magazine. "Does it mean that Mike survives the finale? We're yet to see that for ourselves. But now it's time for Finn to move on from the show, and he's ready for it." The actor has been involved in many other projects. For example, you could see him in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire last year. Besides, he co-wrote, co-directed, and starred in the horror comedy slasher Hell of a Summer. The movie received pretty positive reviews, and Finn certainly plans to direct more films in the future. Apart from that, he's also a musician. He was a member of the indie rock band Calpurnia, which released an EP, Scout, in 2018. They split up the next year, but Finn wasn't done with music. In June, he released his solo debut album Happy Birthday and scheduled a UK and European tour for late 2025 to support it.
I wrote that song and then named the record that because it was like right when I turned 20. So it was like a pretty big, in the last 2 years, there's just been like a pretty big.
Finn's career achievements at only 22 years old have recently been recognized. He was honored at the 2025 Power of Young Hollywood party alongside singer Tyla and actor Sam Nivola. In fact, Finn is so busy with his career that he has chosen not to date anyone so far. It's been subconsciously, what's the word? Deliberate? To not have a committed partner, he shared. Earlier this year, Finn moved back with his family in Vancouver, Canada, and he's also been in therapy to manage his anxiety.
When I was 15 or 16, started to get like really chronic bad anxiety that like I would go a long time without eating.
Thankfully, Finn feels much better now, and the only thing he regrets is that he didn't start therapy earlier. On another note, we can't help but ask, what do you think about Finn's new hairstyle? Do you like him with a buzz cut, or were his curly locks more to your taste? Share in the comments below as we move on to his co-star, Noah Schnapp. Stranger Things has been an important part of his life, and not only because it made him famous. Playing Will helped Noah come to terms with his own sexuality and come out as gay. Indeed, he was thrilled with the amount of support from his co-stars and fans. Finn said that he was proud of Noah when he came out, and David Harbour shared that he's happy that the young actor remained true to himself. The cast and crew of Stranger Things are a second family for Noah. The actor recently shared with Forbes that their relationship has become very special and meaningful. He also said that coming out made filming season 5 even better because he no longer had to hide. "I'm finally living truthfully," the actor said, "and we're happy for him." Career-wise, 20-year-old Noah is doing just fine. For example, he showcased another dimension of his talent in the psychological thriller, The Tutor. And these days, he seems to focus on other things. He studies at the University of Pennsylvania and majors in entrepreneurship and innovation. He'll graduate next year, yet he already applies theory to practice. Noah co-founded a sustainability-focused snack company called TBH, which stands for To Be Honest, and a virtual restaurant brand, Tenderfix. Both of these business endeavors are successful and not at all overwhelming for the actor.
I see it as like a fun challenge. I love being busy, and when I'm not, I hate it.
We can also expect even more projects from Noah, as he recently shared that he's working on something new. And we certainly can't forget the fact that he's best friends with Millie. Noah is very excited for the new chapter of her life.
I'm just happy for her, and the baby's so cute.
We can't wait to see the baby girl, too. And meanwhile, let's move on to the next Stranger Things kid, Sadie Sink. She first appeared as Max in season 2 and quickly became a fan favorite, so it's no wonder that she got sad when it ended.
It's like a really emotional last day, but I feel lucky that even after 10 years of the show, it was so emotional and we didn't want to say goodbye.
But what's going on in the actress's life these days? 23-year-old Sadie's career is going absolutely great. She led the Fear Street trilogy and joined Brendan Fraser in Darren Aronofsky's The Whale. Her performance in both was praised, and Brendan himself couldn't stop gushing over his co-star.
Who are you? Your talent presages your years. It took me 32 years to get here.
But obviously, that's not all. Earlier this year, Sadie got cast in the 4th installment of Spider-Man. She'll appear in the film alongside Tom Holland in an undisclosed role. Yet fans already speculate that she's going to play either Peter Parker's comic book sweetheart Mary Jane or an X-Men character, Jean Grey. For sure, both theories are due to Sadie's signature red hair, which is quite similar to that of these characters. Whatever role it is, the actress will undoubtedly shine in it. Just like she did in a recent post-apocalyptic movie, OSSA, and in the Broadway play, John Proctor is the villain. For the latter, Sadie even got a Tony nomination, becoming the second youngest woman to receive such an honor. But her career isn't only about acting these days. Sadie has officially entered her role as a beauty ambassador. She's the face of Armani Beauty and often features the brand on her social media.
There's a lot of depth and confidence to it. It's the smell of fashion.
And this year, she made her first appearance at the Met Gala, astonishing everyone with her dramatic black gown from Prada. We can't wait to see what else Sadie has in store for us. But now, let's talk about her Stranger Things boyfriend, Caleb McLaughlin. The series has been a blessing for him, and the actor said that he couldn't have asked for a better experience in his life.
Truly insane of how long it's been. It's like 10 years. I've been on the show. I've known the cast and crew for so long, and, they're my family.
Finishing Stranger Things was even sadder than Caleb expected.
The last day, I was like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. And then ended up just bawling, man. 10 years of just love, laughter, and sadness, and peace.
But now, it's time to move on for the 23-year-old actor. Caleb has already appeared in the LeBron James biopic Shooting Stars, where he played Drew Joyce III. Besides, he starred in the biblical comedy drama The Book of Clarence, produced by Jay-Z. Both of the movies received positive reviews from critics. The actor is also set to star in the scripted podcast Sacrilege: Curse of the Imbirwi. And next year, we can hear his voice in the animated sports film GOAT. Apart from acting, Caleb is into music and is preparing to release his first R&B album. Besides, McLaughlin serves as a brand ambassador for Dior Beauty and Puma. And just like his on-screen girlfriend, he made an appearance at the Met Gala this year. Caleb prepared for the event with his stylist and a bunch of other people. And together they managed to create a look that celebrated his identity and paid homage to the art of tailoring.
I feel like it represents history, like art, creativity.
He looked amazing, didn't he? And how about his little sister from the show, Priya Ferguson? Starting in a brief role as Lucas's little sister, the actress certainly didn't expect to become such a fan-favorite character.
You can't spell America without Erica.
Now, she's an indispensable part of Stranger Things, and we won't be surprised if this quick-witted girl plays a pivotal role in taking down Vecna. At the same time, it's hard not to be shocked at how different the actress behind Erica looks these days. She's all grown up, and this year Priya graduated from high school. In a now-deleted Instagram post celebrating this achievement, she wrote, "As much as I've pushed myself to be great in my craft, I've also prioritized living a life that's real, one that's helped shape me into a well-rounded young woman." Good for her. Priya has shown her talent in other projects as well. 3 years ago, she starred in the Halloween comedy The Curse of Bridge Hollow alongside Marlon Wayans. She also voiced one of the main characters in the animated science fiction series My Dad the Bounty Hunter. But that's not all. The 18-year-old has already launched her production banner titled Bold Honey. She uses it to create storytelling opportunities for young black girls. Priya's other personal interests include skating and bowling, and she also enjoys caring for her pets, a poodle named Sparkles and a bearded dragon named Dino. Besides, as we see from her Instagram, the actress is passionate about fashion and explores her personal style by experimenting with various looks. And she can easily become a model, isn't that right? Finally, let's talk about Gaten Matarazzo. Like everyone else, he was sad to see the series come to an end, But it turns out that he also has a certain fear about it.
Not only has it been amazing, but it's been like pretty great job security.
We can't argue with that, but here's something you probably won't agree with. Gayton is sure that Stranger Things would be an even better show if the stakes were higher, and more characters died. You've heard that, right? The Dustin actor thinks that all the devastating deaths we've seen weren't enough. I feel like we're all too safe, the 23-year-old said in an interview. Wow, can you forgive him for that? Anyway, let's talk about Gayton's career beyond Stranger Things. He voiced the main role in LEGO Star Wars, Rebuild the Galaxy. And he also joined the star-studded cast of the animated adventure comedy film Animal Farm. Gayton worked on this George Orwell adaptation alongside Seth Rogen, Woody Harrelson, Steve Buscemi, and Kieran Culkin. Earlier this year, the actor was cast in the upcoming comedy road trip film, currently referred to as the Untitled Britannic Pizza Movie. Apart from that, Gayton has been doing a lot of stage acting. For example, he starred in Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, and Gutenberg the Musical on Broadway. Both were very successful. And his personal life is also going great. Gayton has been in a relationship with actress Elizabeth Yu since 2018. She's getting more popular these days as well. You could see her as Azula in the live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. That's one talented couple. What do you expect to see in the final season of Stranger Things? Share your theories below, and let us know if you'd like us to create another video about older actors from the show.
Stranger Things is packed with pop culture references. For Season 4, the Duffer Brothers also drew inspiration from some real-life horror stories. Find out how the best nod to A Nightmare on Elm Street was created just hours before shooting. Discover the origins of the Hellfire Club and its connection to Eleven's story. And learn which of Stephen King's novels was behind that heart-stopping roller rink scene. Let's take a look at the most intriguing Easter eggs in the latest season of Stranger Things. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Season 4 is arguably more horror-oriented than the previous seasons. The most obvious inspirations were drawn from the iconic slasher of the 80s and its star, Freddy Krueger. The Duffers aren't even trying to hide all these references. Vecna's burned, corpse-like look is definitely reminiscent of the Nightmare Killer. Just like Freddy, the Stranger Things new Big Bad invades the dreams of teens and uses their fears to kill them in real life. There's even a direct Freddy Krueger boiler room joke.
Like Freddy Krueger's boiler room.
Freddy Krueger?
Tustin also comments on how Vecna's red smoke mental lair is comparable to the dream world from the horror movie. And Robert Englund, who famously played Freddy in the Nightmare on Elm Street films, portrays a mysterious asylum patient named Victor Creel. Hilariously, Robin doesn't see any similarities, although in the family video shop where she works, there's a cardboard cutout for the second movie of the franchise, Freddy's Revenge. But there's also a more subtle reference to the 80s slasher. Stranger Things executive producer Sean Levy revealed that one particular moment was totally his idea. It turns out that the night before the shoot, he rewatched Nightmare on Elm Street. The next morning, he came to work and said, "Let's take some kind of tool and grind the top of the table in Victor Creel's cell." That's how we got that introduction shot of Victor's fingers scratching the wood, as a little extra nod to Freddy. And there are many more other cool references to iconic movies and villains. Sweet nostalgia. Season 4 is not always jump scary. It also carries the feeling of a slow burn dread. Sean Levy revealed that he borrowed that style of suspense from classics like Silence of the Lambs and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The sanitarium where Victor Creel is housed is very much like the one from the latter. Levy shared that he had lots of fun casting the background patients in their white outfits and haunted faces. And as if that wasn't enough, Pennhurst Mental Hospital has a real-life counterpart. We'll tell you more about it later. But now let's talk about less creepy Easter eggs. When Eddie Munson points out the school caste system in a rant in the cafeteria, he mentions the jocks, the freaks, the nerds, the popular kids, and the criminals. This is a nod to the character breakdowns from the iconic coming-of-age film, The Breakfast Club. Susie's big sister Eden is actually styled to look just like the actress Ali Sheedy from the same movie. And speaking about the Stranger Things tech genius, the scene where Susie hacks into the Hawkins High School computer is a reference to Matthew Broderick changing his grades in War Games. And that's not the only reference to this classic movie. When Mike and Will call Nina, they realize they're connecting with the computer. That's because they recognize the sound it makes as being the same sound from the cyber thriller. At one point, Mike outright comments about how similar Nina is to Joshua, the powerful computer from the movie. There's also a fun Easter egg hidden amongst all the horror. Skull Rock, where Eddie Munson hides, is the name of a location in the Disney animated classic Peter Pan. It even looks the same. And just like in previous seasons, there's a Ghostbusters Easter egg too. Dustin has a pin on his backpack that says, "I've been slimed." So, what other movies are mentioned in Season 4? Jonathan notes that Police Academy 3 is currently playing in theaters, while Nancy has a Tom Cruise poster on her wall. And that's probably because the events take place right around the same time that his breakout hit Top Gun came out. But most of the references come from Steve and Robin's new gig, a video rental store. It's full of movie posters and promotional items. We see posters for Weird Science and Teen Wolf. The one for The Last Dragon even serves as a backdrop to Steve and Robin's conversation about their romantic woes in Chapter 2. There are also era-appropriate cardboard cutouts all over the store, including those for Gremlins and Raiders of the Lost Ark. By the way, when Joyce and Murray land their single-engine plane that they don't know how to fly, it's definitely a nod to another movie of the franchise, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The Star Wars original trilogy fans also recognized a famous phrase, "Never tell me the odds." While playing D&D in Chapter 1, Dustin directly quotes Han Solo from The Empire Strikes Back. Aside from Star Wars, the biggest nerd property on the planet is The Lord of the Rings. So it's not surprising that Stranger Things paid homage to it too. Eddie compared the mission to stop Vecna to stepping into Mordor to stop Sauron, a reference that poor Steve totally didn't get. Tisk tisk, Stevie. Well, that's not surprising at all, as the Lord of the Rings movies came out 15 years later. Let's see what else Steve had no idea about. The Dangers of Hellfire Club. Dungeons & Dragons influenced the storytelling this season even more than ever. For starters, the kids call the new tentacled villain after a D&D monster, and the plot also plays out like a story from a role-playing game. When the gang goes into the Upside Down after Steve, it's like a search party embarking on a fantasy quest to defeat a powerful supernatural being. Eddie Munson probably borrowed the name for his D&D club from the pages of Uncanny X-Men comics. In the 80s, they introduced the Hellfire Club as mutant antagonists. We'll talk more about them soon. But now let's dive deeper into musical Easter eggs on Stranger Things. First off, Eddie himself looks a lot like a rocker. His metal band members wear Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden t-shirts. We also see a banner with the logo for the legendary Motorhead hanging in their garage studio. But one of the best moments is when Eddie compliments Steve on taking down the demo bats, calling him metal. Steve doesn't have a clue what Eddie's talking about. Obviously, he's never heard of the infamous Ozzy Osbourne moment where the rock star bit the head off a bat on stage. His passion for metal music and D&D caused Eddie many unpleasant moments. As wild as that sounds, there was a real satanic panic that developed around the Dungeons & Dragons game in the mid-80s. The head of the Hellfire Club didn't think it was dangerous though, and he cited an article about it in Chapter 1. However, after a series of brutal murders, Hawkins residents were ready to point pitchforks at anyone who played the game. Eddie may be a fictional character, but his storyline is based on very real kids who suffered that exact persecution. The West Memphis Three were 3 teenagers who were convicted for heinous crimes they did not commit. Sadly, to many Americans, they were pawns of the devil just because they loved the wrong music and read the wrong books. X-Men references. The very first chapter of Stranger Things saw Will and Dustin race for a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 134. In Chapter 3 of the first season, Dustin suggested that Eleven could be a mutant, like the X-Men. In the 3rd season, Hawkins Mall felt like a reference to the stories that introduced Jubilee, and Dustin called his radio transmitter Cerebro, aka Professor X's psychic power device. Season 4 has brought another nod to the gadget. The top-secret machine Elle is put inside to regain her powers is also reminiscent of Cerebro in its look and function. Moreover, the horrifying Vecna operates similarly to the leader of the X-Men, a powerful telepath Professor X could reach any person in the world. Vecna does the same, venturing into the minds of the most vulnerable teens. As we have mentioned before, the Hellfire Club is a reference to the X-Men comics too. A villainous group of the same name played a significant role in the Dark Phoenix arc, and Eleven's backstory, revealed in Season 4, actually mirrors it to a degree. In the graphic novel, Jean Grey was possessed by a cosmic force, the Phoenix, and was granted godlike powers. Unfortunately, she soon found herself manipulated by a psychic named Mastermind. He tricked Jean into betraying the X-Men. Eventually, she broke free from Mastermind's control and took her revenge upon the psychic. Doesn't that sound familiar? Still, the Dark Phoenix isn't the only character Eleven is based on. Straight from the King of Horror. There would be no Elle without Charlie, the telekinetic heroine of the Stephen King novel Firestarter. It premiered in the mid-'80s, and we dare say that its soundtrack influenced that memorable synthy Stranger Things score. The Firestarter's Charlie was born as the result of an experiment. She is chased by a nefarious government organization who are eager to harness her powers. And Season 4 brought us yet another moment inspired by King's creation. At the beginning of the season, Eleven is struggling to fit in at her school in California. Things get worse when the local queen bee Angela starts to relentlessly bully Elle. The storyline clearly reminds viewers of the novel and its movie adaptation, Carrie. Its protagonist, who has telekinetic powers, was viciously abused by her classmates. We won't spoil the story for you in case you haven't seen it. But the sequence at the roller rink where Eleven is sloshed with a milkshake has lots in common with the prom scene in Stephen King's book. Just like Carrie, Elle gets her revenge, although she couldn't strike back with her powers as she no longer has them. Now it's time to tell you about the exciting references in the Stranger Things locations. Real-life haunted house. Surprisingly, our favorite sci-fi series has been inspired by true stories. You might have watched the series of movies about the Amityville haunting. The story was first told in the 70s in a book called The Amityville Horror, a True Story, and soon adapted into a film. It told the story of the Lutz family, who relocated to Long Island for a fresh start. However, 1 month later, they were forced to flee because of the paranormal activity in the house. It turned out that, a year earlier, the owners of the house were killed by a family member. Clearly, the Duffer Brothers were inspired by these events when crafting the story of the Creel house and the unlucky family who lived there. Another intriguing detail in the Stranger Things 4th season is the Pennhurst Mental Hospital, where Victor Creel was doomed to spend the rest of his life. It's not strictly a real place, but there was a Pennhurst State School and Hospital in Pennsylvania. And the real Pennhurst has its own history to discover. Once seen as a model institution in the 80s, it was described as understaffed, dirty, and violent. It was actually shut down in 1987, 1 year after the events of Stranger Things Season 4 takes place.
We've waited for so long, and soon we'll finally see the ending of Stranger Things. And there are so many topics to be covered in the final season. From the fates of the characters we worry about the most to unresolved relationships.
I dump your ass.
And to the dark secrets of the Upside Down.
Found you.
Let's recall all the major questions we need answered in Season 5. What's Will's role in all of it? Everything started with him, so it's only logical that it has to end with him. Will is clearly connected to the Upside Down, but we still don't understand how. He has these tingling feelings on the back of his head every time something happens. For sure it makes poor Will very scared, but what if he learns to use this connection? In this case, it'll play a huge role in the final season. He might learn to predict Vecna's attacks so that the other gang members can act accordingly and take him down. Besides, it's interesting how this connection came to be. After all, we have no idea what Will was doing while hiding in the Upside Down in Season 1. All we know is that he was singing a song there. But how exactly did he survive? Was it pure luck, or does Will have some abilities he doesn't know about himself? We've never seen the boy's time in the Upside Down from his perspective, and he hasn't told any details about it. And it's also unclear why he was kidnapped in the first place. Did Vecna sense something in Will and decide to kill him, or else make the boy his ally? We surely hope to get answers to all these questions in Season 5. And there's another character we really worry about. Will Max wake up? Last we saw her in Season 4, she was bedridden, in a coma, and all her limbs were broken. Even 11 wasn't able to find her in the void, so it's unclear if she's actually alive. And the Season 5 trailer didn't give us any hints on whether our favorite redhead will wake up. It only showed Max on a hospital bed, and then we saw her in Lucas's arms, still unconscious, while he was hiding from the upside-down monsters. Her state is bound to change at some point. After all, Max can't remain like this till the end, and she can't just die, not now, after going through so much.
I survived before. I can survive again.
Besides, if the writers wanted to kill her off, they'd have done it already. So if Max is still alive, she's bound to wake up and maybe tell us something about where her consciousness had been. It's even possible that she'll somehow play a key role in taking Vecna down. But the main thing we want is for Max to stay alive, just like the next character. Will Steve survive? He's been on the edge so many times and has been beaten up in virtually every season. First by Jonathan, then by Billy, then by the Russians, and the worst one was probably by Demobats in Season 4. Will we finally see Steve the Hare Harrington without a drop of blood this time? That seems to be a vain hope, but we'll be satisfied if he at least stays with the gang till the very end. For many fans, Steve became the favorite character, transforming from a douche into a hero, and sometimes a babysitter. And we know what Stranger Things tends to do with heroes.
A newbie. Superhero.
He's a hero. So, it's no wonder that fans worry about Steve. Yet some have come up with an interesting theory about him. And if they're right, he'll probably survive, but it might mean the end for another character. So let's move on to the next question. Will Nancy and Jonathan stay together? Until the previous season, these two had seemed to be the endgame couple. They were so perfect together that Murray, for example, understood everything even before they actually started dating.
How was the pullout?
However, Season 4 brought some challenges to their relationship. Nancy and Jonathan were apart for most of the time, each taking a very different path in life. Despite fighting the upside-down monsters, it was clear that the two were suffering under a long-distance relationship. With all of that, we saw Nancy bonding with Steve and seeing how much he had grown. And that look she gave when he took off his t-shirt, Robin seemed to understand it better than anyone. Does it all mean that Nancy will get back together with Steve? If it happens, some fans assume that Jonathan may ultimately sacrifice himself. Do you believe that it's possible? Share in the comments below and tell us if you're Team Steve or Team Jonathan. On the other hand, there may be none of that, because the Duffers said that Season 5 will be pedal to the metal from the very beginning. That's not like there's going to be time to explore our character's love life, Matt Duffer explained. On that note, let's move on to the dark stuff. How is Vecna connected to the Mind Flayer? There's definitely some symbiotic relationship between the two. In Season 4, we saw a brief hint when Vecna/Henry/1 created the Mind Flayer from the particles that were flying around in the Upside Down. But there's still so much we don't know about how he did it or what purpose he had in mind. Did he plan to create some kind of killing machine? Are these particles sentient by themselves, and are they completely loyal to Vecna? How did the connection between them come to be? And probably the main question is how it works and whether this knowledge will help take down the main villain. After all, the gang managed to use the hive mind to their benefit in Season 2. Maybe it'll work again, and this time, they'll put an end to it all. We also wonder if 11 and everyone else will have to close the Upside Down for good, or destroy it completely. It's still unclear whether the latter is possible, because we know so little about that weird place. Which leads us to the next question. All the truth about the Upside Down. What the hell is this place after all? How does it work? And why does it seem to be stuck in time? It's still unclear how exactly the Upside Down came to be and how this dimension worked before and after 11 launched one in there. Why does it look like a perfect physical copy of Hawkins, seemingly stuck in the day when Will disappeared?
The last entry is November 6, 1983. The day Will went missing. The day the gate opened. We're in the past.
So far, it seems that the more the plot opens up all the mythology, the more questions arise about it all. And we can only hope that most of them will be answered in the final season. Do you have any theories on how it all works? Share them in the comments below while we're moving on to the next question. Will Russians come back? Trying to open the gate to the Upside Down in Hawkins, they became an unexpected villain in Season 3. Then it also turned out that they had a Demogorgon, a few other creatures, and even a piece of the Mind Flayer. It's unclear how they got it all and made it stay in the Kamchatka prison. After all, negotiations and bribes don't really work with these monsters. We also want to know why the Russians are so involved with the Upside Down. Since the show is set during the Cold War, they could be planning to use it to take down their enemy. But how did they even find out about the Upside Down? Do they have their own lab where they experiment on children with special abilities, like 11? Besides, it's unknown if it all ties to Vecna's plans in any way, and if the Russians will make a reappearance in the final season. Maybe one of their scientists will somehow help understand the nature of the Upside Down. We'll see. And for now, let's talk about less mysterious, but no less important things. Will Eddie's reputation be restored? He quickly became a fan favorite in season 4, and his passing broke the audience's hearts.
I didn't run away this time, right?
There have been campaigns and petitions asking the showrunners to bring Eddie back. One of them garnered more than 30,000 signatures. But while Stranger Things fans adore Eddie, the residents of Hawkins clearly don't. For lack of a better explanation, everyone thought that he was involved in some cult and killed Chrissy. And it seemed they kept thinking that because the trailer showed Eddie's grave covered with not-so-good words. We all hope that the gang will somehow explain everything to the town residents and tell them how he died as a hero. It'll be an important thing to do for Dustin, who clearly still misses Eddie.
He fought and died to protect this town.
Yet here's the character no one seems to miss in the show. Where is Kali? Remember that gal from season 2 who revealed herself as another child from the Hawkins lab and gave Eleven some new vocabulary?
Bitchin'.
There was a whole episode about Kali and Eleven, but after Elle left her and her punky friends, we never saw her again. Does Kali even know about the entire mess happening in Hawkins? And will she reappear to help the gang fight Vecna? Her powers would certainly come in handy in the battle. On the other hand, the showrunners might not want to bring her back again because fans disliked the episode so much. But it would still be nice to get closure about Kali. Otherwise, that episode had no reason to even be in the show. What's your opinion about it? Share in the comments below as we're moving on to the final question. Will Joyce and Hopper go on that date? It's hard to believe that this awesome couple has never been on an actual date. Fans remember how Hopper asked Joyce out to meet at Enzo's in season 3. But their plans were interrupted when they had to fight in the Starcourt Mall battle. And then Hopper almost died, was kidnapped by the Russians, and thrown into the Kamchatka prison. Now that both he and Joyce are back in Hawkins, fans want to see them finally go to Enzo's together.
Plus, we do have that date to get to, remember?
Hopefully, they'll have time to do it among all the monster fighting, and actually remain alive for that. Are there any other storylines that you want to see resolved in season 5? Share your questions and theories in the comments below. And while we're waiting for the finale of Stranger Things, watch our other videos about the Netflix hit show.
Stranger Things might be a drama on screen, but off screen, it's a comedy show of its own.
Yeah, we're the Schitt's Creek of Netflix.
Learn why nobody envied David Harbour's role in season 4. Discover which cast members are most prone to go off script.
Oh, really?
What? And find out who spoiled the biggest action scene of the entire show. Let's start. Obviously, Stranger Things is quite different from an average drama series. There's a lot of stories packed into it, and the 4th season shows this better than the previous ones.
We have a stoner action comedy, we have like a Russian prison movie, we have a Scooby-Doo meets like Zodiac Killer storyline.
It makes the series more fun for the viewers, and for the actors too. Because the landscape of Stranger Things has broadened, the cast had to travel to different places to film. However, at least one of them wasn't that happy about it. David Harbour revealed that he pushed himself to his physical and emotional limits to play Hopper in season 4.
Goal this year was a lot of action for me. It was a lot of cold weather. It was like barefoot in the snow in Lithuania, like 20 below, and I wasn't eating a lot of food because I was very emaciated this season, and so it was a brutal season on me.
Still, you'd say David's in pretty good shape when you see this.
Action.
The teens, on the contrary, loved the change of scenery. Noah Schnapp recalled that his favorite moments on set were those spent at the roller rink. In his own words, it was a blast.
Today at lunch, Millie connects her phone, and we just skate around. You just skate around the rink, and it's a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
As usual, besties Millie and Noah were goofing around like crazy. It's so cute to see them letting loose between takes. And thankfully, no one got hurt because the actors had professional skaters as their doubles. In her TikTok video, Brown lip syncs about being the standout alongside the girl decked out in Elle's outfit from episode 2. Her stunt double, whom Millie calls the stand-in, hilariously gives the actor the side eye. Brown also posted a couple of videos where she shows some impressive moves while wearing Elle's lab costumes. It's not the first time the cast of Stranger Things has been caught dancing behind the scenes. Actually, it seems like they do it all the time. They even have special dances for different occasions.
Noah and I had this thing on set where anytime we're scared, we go.
Don't do it.
No wonder these two are also the champions of spoiling takes by laughing, especially this season, as Millie and Noah shared more scenes than ever before.
But usually, I feel like it's
I feel like it is us, and it also can be Charlie on like some days. Like,
But this time around, they had a worthy rival, newcomer Eduardo Franco. The cast unanimously agreed that he's the one who cracks up most. Millie revealed that once Eduardo starts laughing, he makes everybody else around him laugh too. And it took anywhere from 15 minutes to a whole hour for everyone to calm down. However, Eduardo has something to say in his defense. He was adamant that most of the time, it was Noah's fault.
He was purposely doing it to make me laugh, and I could not look at him, and he kept saying, like, why don't you look at me? And I was like, stop.
Perhaps that's why the cast and crew of Stranger Things supported Millie Bobby Brown in the biggest prank of the season.
He goes to great extents, so we thought as a crew that we needed to get him back.
So, on the last night of shooting in New Mexico, they placed trash bins packed with water balloons all around the base camp. It was 4 a.m. and Noah was still on set. Brown called him, crying, and asked him to come to the camp. Like a good friend, Schnapp hurried over immediately, only to be attacked by the entire team.
All of us, about 20 people, raid him. Absolutely invade him.
Just take a look at this ambush. Another two Stranger Things actors who easily distract each other are Finn Wolfhard and Charlie Heaton.
Maybe some things just can't go back to the way they were. That doesn't make sense. Maybe some things just can't. Maybe some things just can't go back. What the is going on?
All right then, I'll use my torch. All right then. All right then, I'll use my torch to. Are you right? I know, it's hard.
Imagine what the shooting process is like when these two share the screen. Still, it's not the only young actors who spoil scenes.
Breaking the group's main rule, friends don't die.
Don't lie.
I mean, lie.
Oh, that didn't actually happen on the set of Stranger Things, but it definitely could have, as season 4 turned out to be quite intense for Winona Ryder's character. Although she moved from Hawkins to sunny California, her life hasn't become easier. Joyce works all day, takes care of 3 children, deals with Russian smugglers, survives a plane crash, and goes to extremes to save someone very dear to her.
So it's your typical couple weeks for Joyce.
We'll soon be able to see if she succeeds. But here's proof that sometimes even professionals mess up. Finn Wolfhard revealed that his favorite moment from season 4 was a big one-take action sequence, unparalleled to anything they've done before. The team couldn't afford too many takes.
You know, we had a duck and like glass was breaking, but like we only had like 3 chances at it.
So it took a lot of planning and rehearsing. And there was a take when all the actors were working in sync and everything was going perfectly.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom.
And so we do everything, like get there, and then the camera whips to the door, and the soldier is not there.
Understandably, the cast felt quite disappointed.
Oh my god, dude, we just did all that for nothing. They cut. 40 seconds later, a door gets kicked in, and the stunt guy's like,
when he fell to the ground, the actors actually didn't know how to react, but the stuntmen surprised them all once more.
And then he got up and he was like, I think that went well.
The young actors of our favorite show have grown up right before our eyes and are almost adults now. However, when you watch them behind the scenes, it seems like they are still those adorable kids we love so much. For instance, to kill time between takes, Millie and Noah competed in Fruit by the Foot Challenge, which means they had to eat fruit rolls as fast as they could without using their hands.
Ready, set, go.
Wait, look at you!
Poor Noah stood absolutely no chance, while other cast members simply refused to compete with Brown.
Finn was like, leave me alone.
Millie's victory dance is yet another memorable thing from behind the scenes of the latest season. She even confirmed her championship status in a contest with Jimmy Fallon.
3, 2, 1.
Well, let's hope Millie and the rest of the cast have more of these sweet, childish moments. If you liked this video, support OSSA by sending a super thanks. Just click on the thanks button under the video and choose an amount to donate. Stay awesome, and remember, we value each one of you. And if you want to learn more about the daily life of the Stranger Things cast, watch our video about it. The level of horror rises with each new season of Stranger Things, and creating the new monsters was not an easy ride. Find out why Millie Bobby Brown found the shooting much harder than in previous seasons.
I did 3 days of that and it was exhausting enough.
And discover the painstaking process Jamie Campbell Bower had to endure to turn into Vecna.
It feels like I've been living in a different universe.
But right now, let's start with the question many Stranger Things fans can't seem to get over. Was Millie CGI'd? When the first season was filmed, Millie Bobby Brown shaved her head to play 11. Fans were shocked to see she may have done the same for season 4. However, it turned out that this time around, her iconic buzz cut was a wig. Another surprise was Elle's return to the lab and her flashbacks of her life there. Many viewers assumed that the show's creators used CGI to digitally de-age now 18-year-old Millie. They criticized the Duffer Brothers for this decision, comparing young Eleven to Euphoria's Ashtray and Renesmee from the Twilight Saga. One fan even tweeted that CGI'd Elle is scarier than the actual monsters. But there were others who thought that Millie Bobby Brown filmed those scenes 7 years ago. Neither of them were right, though. It was revealed that young Eleven was played by actor Marty Blair, and Brown helped her every step of the way during filming. Still, it appears that some special effects were used after all. While Marty acted in the scenes, Millie's face was deep-faked on her later.
We basically worked in there for 3 days and we did facial expressions. We did every single scene from start to finish, just using my face.
No wonder each episode cost $30 million to make. This number breaks all records, even the final season of Game of Thrones. But Eleven's de-aging process definitely wasn't the only thing the money was spent on. Tangible evil. For season 4, the Duffers decided to create a more sinister creature than the Demogorgons or the Mind Flayer. We wanted a presence on the set that our actors could react to, they explained, whereas in season 3, they were reacting to a beach ball, and it needed to be a humanoid villain with more depth and dimension, and far more evil than the ones before it. The showrunners were inspired by Freddy Krueger from the classic 80s horror, and a more recent big bad from Game of Thrones. So the Duffers enlisted Barry Gower, the mastermind behind the Night King and the burn victims of the series Chernobyl, to create this super monster. However, even for Gower and his team, it wasn't an easy task. Vecna is definitely the most extensive-sized prosthetic makeup they've ever done before. It's the same sort of process as the Night King, but much bigger in scale, added Gower. That means this season's villain is an actual person, actor Jamie Campbell Bower, under tons of prosthetics and makeup. Or, as he put it, about 90% him, as the unsettling movements of the vines and tendrils were added with the help of CGI. The Duffer Brothers didn't regret the efforts put into creating this monster. They recalled that there was this bit of a drum roll like, "Vecna is coming to set." All of the performances from the rest of the cast were enhanced by the fact that he was actually standing right there. Now, let's find out how exactly the monster's costume was made. Bringing Vecna to life. From the very start, Barry Gower and his team decided that they wouldn't just make a rubber suit. Those have a tendency to buckle, which doesn't look great on camera. And there are also some, well, human problems that have to be thought through. One of them is heat. Rubber costumes are designed to be as comfortable as possible. Still, actors have to spend lots of time in air-conditioned areas to cool down in between takes. And most importantly, they have to go to the loo at some point during the day. So Gower came up with the idea that Vecna's costume should consist of pieces that would be glued directly to the actor's skin. But although it gave the actor more freedom to move, it required a lot of work. Many of the techniques used in Vecna's creation were first used in the 80s. The team also had the advantage of more modern materials, which helped give the monster his decidedly slimy look. The prosthetics were painted with a glossy silicone finish. Still, on set, the makeup team covered everything with a thick layer of lube. The application of the prosthetics took up to 7.5 hours and an additional hour to take off. But it wasn't wasted time. Instead, Jamie Campbell Bower used those hours to get inside his character's head.
It's also good because I was in character, you know, and like diving deeper into it. I used to play like a lot of like really dark music and listen to weird stuff. So yeah, it was good.
Moreover, before shooting, Jamie purposefully isolated himself to better get into the mindset of the sociopathic, telekinetic turned inhuman beast. To help channel the dark character's deep resentment, Bower went method. I wouldn't speak to anybody outside of the Stranger Things world for at least 4 days before filming anything, revealed Bower. He would also sit alone in a totally pitch black room before filming to fully get into Vecna's evil headspace. And if you wondered who voiced the mind-invading villain, search no more. It was Bower too. Next, let's talk about the creepily awesome sounds that helped create the terrifying Upside Down. But first, check this out. No pumpkins were harmed. Just hearing Vecna's squelching footsteps is enough to give you goosebumps. Ugh. The lead sound effects editor, Angelo Palazzo, shared some details of his work on Stranger Things Season 4. He had enough time to come up with some fun stuff, as he got a lot of visual information early in the process of shooting for the season. He learned that the vines were going to be constantly moving around Vecna's neck and how predatory they would become at the Creel's house. And Palazzo started recording different sorts of crunchy vegetables. He explained that twisting fibrous vegetables can create a whole new palette of gory, fibrous stuff that sounds like tendons. Also, he would wrap veggies like carrots and peppers in a wet cloth so it would sound like bones cracking underneath skin. For loud and clear crackling sounds, the sound editor used recordings of pumpkins being smashed. After learning this, we at OSSA will never look at veggies the same way again. But let's return to the special effects. The creepy Upside Down. Newcomer Joe Quinn, who plays Eddie, was deeply impressed by how Stranger Things combined CGI and practical effects. Although there was a lot of blue screen, there was also stuff like real trees, for instance. He compared it to other sets he's been on before, and not to their advantage. You really felt the scale of it there, he recalled. On other productions, they might have just lit up 5 or 6 trees and you'd have to walk in circles. In addition to Vecna, the company that handled the CG environment created his mind layer as well. In fact, there were nearly as many VFX shots in the mind layer sequence as in all of the first season. VFX supervisor Michael Marr explained that the Duffers were keen on it being a forest mixed with shards of the house that appear in fragments. They elaborated that it should feel like the eerie, scary mind of a madman with broken memories. The VFX studio created lightning, fake blood on a blue screen set that Max runs through on a high gloss flooring, plus the pieces of the house and boulders that fall around her and explode. When Max is running to the portal that rips away for a clear view into the cemetery, she gets caught in vines. That's CGI too. Their texture matches Vecna, who's in control of the hellish other dimension and everything that stems from it. All in all, the entire visual tone of the current season becomes more and more ominous as the series starts to reach a conclusion. It's the most complicated thing we've ever attempted to do. It's all tension and dread, promised Ross. Then, well, everything goes to hell. Sounds like the final stand between the gang and Vecna will take place on the Upside Down. You're welcome to share your ideas about it in the comments. If you like this video, support OSSA by sending us super thanks. Just click on the thanks button under the video and choose an amount to donate. Stay awesome, and remember, we value each one of you. Thanks for watching, and check out our video on Stranger Things for Easter eggs.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching our full deep dive into the secrets in the cast. If you loved all the transformations, bloopers, and theories, make sure you subscribe for more essential content before you go. And stay awesome.